Greetings, everyone. From my 40 plus years of teaching ESL to students from over 40 different countries, I believe a fundamental truth. Our students do not purposefully engage in irritating behavior. I think there is one common reason they might do these. They don't realize how their action is affecting the teacher and other students. In short, they simply lack awareness. For example, if a student is texting during class, the teacher might address it in the moment or wait until the end of class. The next day, the teacher often has to do the same thing with another texting student. There is a much more effective student-friendly and teacher-friendly way to address irritating behavior. And it's actually fun to implement. It's basically focusing on helping students become aware of how their behavior is affecting the teacher and other students. And best of all, we've noticed that fewer students are exhibiting these behaviors in our classes over time. This process involves skits. To give you an idea of what I mean by skits, I'll describe one. After that, I'll step back and tell you more about how we've decided on which irritations to perform, when and where we typically do these, and who the actors are. So, imagine you have an audience of students, perhaps new students gathered for an orientation. Everyone is in the auditorium or large classroom. At the front are actor students in 6 to 8 desks or chairs in 2 rows, with one empty desk in the middle and 2 in the back. At the front, an actor-teacher stands. On the side, an actor-director-teacher stands. We start with the director giving this short introduction. We're going to present a skit taking place in a classroom. You will see how students' behavior in the class can make it difficult for other students to learn and for the teacher to teach a lesson. During the skits, I'll hold up this sign, "What's the problem?" On your handout, you will choose the correct answer. So, the teacher is giving a lecture to the student actors. All the student actors are looking at him. Then, a student actor opens the door and enters the room late. She sits in the second row with the other students around her. Then she somewhat noisily unpacks her backpack. The audience can see that one of the students looks especially annoyed at the disturbance. Then the action stops, and the director steps in front of the audience and holds up a sign that says, "What's the problem?" All the audience members have a handout that looks like this. So this skit 1, they're going to choose what the problem is. A, students should not come in the classroom if they are late. B, the student sat in the middle and unpacks her backpack while the teacher is talking. C, the student did not shake hands with its teacher when she came into the classroom. So the director asks students to call out the answer, and of course they say B. So you can see the 5 steps for the complete skit. Step 1, the student arrives late. Step 2, the director holds up the sign, "What's the problem?" And then the audience calls out the correct answer. Next comes the most important part of the skit, an insight into how this late student's behavior affects other students and the teacher. The director asks the teacher what students should do if they arrive late. The teacher might say something like, "The student should try to quietly go to a desk in the back of the room and stay there until the teacher has stopped talking. Also, it's a good idea to talk to the teacher at the end of class and explain why you were late." Then the director asks student B how he felt when student A sat in front of him unpacking her backpack. Student B was the student actor who obviously looked annoyed. Student B can say that it was hard to hear the teacher and he was afraid that he was missing something important. As you can imagine, the whole skit and comments probably took about 2 minutes, and that's pretty typical. Next, we do the second skit. In the notes below, I'll include a link to a handout description of 11 skits that we've recently performed for incoming students. Here's what the first ones look like. So you can see again the directions for skit 1. In skit 2, a student doesn't turn in his homework and doesn't tell the teacher. In skit 3, 2 students are chatting while the teacher is talking. The director holds up a sign, "What's the problem?" and the audience answers the question on their handout. Then they call out the answer. The director asks student C why she didn't turn in her homework. The director asks the teacher what students should do if they don't have their homework. Now let's talk about how we put this all together. A few weeks prior to the skits, we send out a memo to the teachers soliciting suggestions for problems. In the notes below, I'll include a link where you can go to download this form if you'd like to use it with your colleagues. So in the form, we make 2 requests: suggestions for skit ideas and recommendations for students who could be actors. As an alternative to using students as actors, we have had teachers as actors in skits playing the role of students. Here is a sample of a recent list that we put together after getting suggestions from teachers. I'll show 5 of them here out of the 15, but in the link below you'll see all 15. After the problems have been decided, the actor teacher, director teacher, and the students who volunteered to be actors meet. Then we decide who will play which roles, and then rehearse, meaning we do ad lib. In other words, we don't write out a complete script. It usually takes about 45 minutes to do this preparation, and often it includes a lot of laughing. We've always found it to be creative and a good bonding experience. Next, we want something that gets the audience invested in these skits, so we put together the "What's the Problem" handouts for the audience members. In the notes below, I'll include a link that shows these 3 options. So option 1, I showed this one earlier that involved multiple choice. They're a lot of fun to put together. Then option 2, in this one, students merely identify which skit was just presented. And then option 3, this is the fastest one to put together. The students just write out what the problem was. The main drawback is that there isn't necessarily one correct phrased answer that students will call out, unlike the other 2 options. So now we're ready to go. On the day of the skits, we just need to set up 6 to 8 desks or chairs for the student actors. When the audience arrives, we give them the handout, "What's the problem?" Then the director teacher gives the introduction. We're going to present a skit taking place in a classroom. You will see how students' behavior in the class can make it difficult for other students to learn and for the teacher to teach a lesson. During the skits, I'll hold up this sign, "What's the problem?" On your handout, you will choose the correct answer. Then it's showtime. I'm always impressed by how focused the audience members are, often laughing when they see and perhaps recognize the irritating behavior that is being performed. Please see the notes below where I've posted links to the handouts and to a post on my website where you can read all about these skits. Thank you for watching.